Sexual abuse of a child
exploits and degrades them. It can cause serious damage to social, emotional, and cognitive development of a child. Sexual abuse affects 1 in 4 girls and 1 in 6 boys before the age 18. Hi, my name is Zanetta Berryman Cooper, founder of Speak Out Now. Speak Out's goal is to spread awareness of child sexual abuse and rape. We provide resources for victims, their families, and help with the overall healing process. For more information, please like and visit our Facebook page, Speak Out 203, or call 203-936-9396.
Today's show is sponsored by Canna Health, medical marijuana certification. Canna Health, dedicated to a higher quality of life. Connect with the Canna Health team at their phone number 203-691-7081 or email them at info@gocannahealth.com. That's info@gocannahealth.com. Or stop in 178 Temple Street, New Haven, Connecticut. Now taking appointments at the New Haven location, and walk-ins are welcome. Canna Health, dedicated to a higher quality of life. What's going on, everybody? This is our politics show tonight on the Raw Report. We got some special guests in here. I'm going to introduce them. That's somebody's phone?
Yeah.
Okay. We got a few people in the house tonight. We got a is it safe to say Democrats and Republicans? Is it? Okay. We'll figure this out as we go along.
I think so.
First, let me introduce our first guest tonight. He's all the way from Fairfield, right?
Yes, sir.
Fairfield. He's been on the show before. Y'all know him. Give it up for everybody for Mr. Peter Lumaj is in the building.
Thank you.
He's in the building, you know. He got his Make America Great hat again. Oh, this is gonna be interesting. This is gonna be real interesting. Number 2, you know this guy. He ran for mayor of New Haven some time ago, all the way from New Haven. Give it up for Mr. Marcus Paca is in the building. He's also in the building. And last but not least, we got a tax-paying citizen, one of my longtime friends. We go way back. Give it up, y'all, Mr. Matthew Pettola, sports fanatic, taxpayer.
Veteran.
Yes, right, you're a veteran, right?
Yeah.
All right, a veteran.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you, sir.
So, I don't know, Pete. Maybe we'll start with you.
Yeah, why not?
You got the hat on tonight. you got the look. You know, is Donald Trump? Is he your man?
Yes.
He is your man.
I supported the president. I campaigned for him. I went to the convention in Ohio. I was invited to the inauguration with my wife. I supported the president. I continue to support him. When I talk about the president, I'm not talking about the president individual. It's an individual supporting him. But what the president stands for actually is what I believe in, and that's why I continue to support him.
Okay.
Well, that's a good point, Peter. You support his policies,
Absolutely, I do.
but you don't necessarily support his actions all the time.
Look, the greatest threat that we see in the United States of America today is when the media divides you and I and others into Republicans and Democrats. And, you know, by being divided, we are being ruled very easily. And I don't believe in those labels, I'll be honest with you. I think we should be seen as Americans. And if the president is putting America first, that includes you and I, whether we're Republicans, Democrats, or whatever your political persuasions are. If he's putting the nation first, I think that's why he deserves the support, and that's why I support it.
That's a very interesting perspective. Very interesting.
Marcus, talking you up.
Yeah, sure.
Or you can pull it closer to you. And now, Marcus, you're not a Trump guy.
Well, I'm a pro-American guy. I think like Peter. I would say that I do not personally agree with a lot of Trump's policies. If I thought that he was putting America first, then I would support him a lot more, because I like you don't agree in so much party divisiveness. party politics. I don't think I should hate you because you're Republican, just like you shouldn't hate me because I'm a Democrat.
Sure,
We're all
absolutely.
Americans.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're all Americans.
Absolutely.
And at the end of the day, I think it's up for debate whether or not Trump has always put America first. I know he has a great slogan, "Make America Great Again." I mean, that's a great slogan.
Yes, sir.
I like that. But I got to tell you, Peter, sometimes it takes more than just a slogan. It takes walking the walk. And what I would like to see personally, coming from Trump personally a little bit more, is him showing more tangibly, more substantively that he is supporting Americans. For instance, I recently saw an interview with some people who were talking about the government shutdown. And we all know the government shutdown was something that hurt over 800,000 federal employees. It put the country and the world at dis-ease, knowing that this country could be shut down over something as little as border security. Now,
As little as
well, listen,
as little as
It was
border
shut down for
security.
Obamacare also.
Let me put that in perspective.
Absolutely,
Let me put that in
But
perspective.
it's not as little.
Let me
That
put
is
that in
very
perspective.
significant because you cannot say that to a family, to an American family whose son or daughter was killed by an illegal alien. You cannot say that to the police officer who was killed by an illegal alien. You cannot say that when you have 56,000 illegals right now in federal prisons. We pay $115 billion every single year supporting illegal immigrants in our country.
But do we
Yet
demonize
what the
every
president?
single?
We're not demonizing them.
Would we
We're not-
demonize
no,
every
no,
single
we're not.
illegal?
We're not. What he's
Because
saying
most
is
of them
that
pick your corn and your oranges.
No,
everything that you
Hold on a
get.
second. Hold on a
Most
second.
of them are law.
America was not built by illegals.
They're built by immigrants.
Look, I was born and raised in Albania.
Right.
America doesn't need me. I need United States.
Under the Iron Curtain, too.
Absolutely. And we need United States. We need America. America doesn't need me. And if I need America, then I should play by the rules.
I agree.
If I waited for 9 months in refugee camp to come over here, so be it. I haven't seen my mother for 7 years before I met with her again when she came to the United States. My father passed away in a concentration camp because I was playing by the rules. And when he said, if you ever make it to the United States of America, yes, be an American. You come to the United States of America with the intent of being an American, not imposing your values or someone else's values upon you and I. We have lost that. There is no longer an intent to come to the United States to become an American. They are coming here for the benefits that we offer them, and that is a huge issue that I see.
62% of them
Well, let me
are
ask you a question. I mean, because
our benefits.
Yes.
Fair enough, but we have to put it all in perspective, right? I support a comprehensive immigration reform package.
And it sounds pretty good when people say comprehensive.
I support border security. I support keeping America safe.
And I
support
appreciate
having-
you do that, but if the Democrats
Well,
support border
well,
security, hold on a second, let me give you some facts, because Republicans deal with facts, not with emotions, and I deal with facts. And I'll tell you what, I
It
deal
seems
with
like
facts.
you're dealing with emotion right now, though.
No,
I haven't even said
no,
anything.
no, the problem that I see is this. When Chuck Schumer said that he's for border security, when Nancy Pelosi said that she's for border security, Obama said he's for border security, yet but they voted against every measure that deals with border security. How can you be for border security yet you vote against every measure when it comes to border security? Now, what the Democrats did in 2013, just one thing that they did with regard to their convention. At that time, they realized that according to a Yale study, we have 22 million illegal aliens in the United States. That 22 million illegals that we have, they want them to become American citizens because they will become a voting bloc for the Democrats. All they care about is power.
So how do you feel? So how do you feel about the DACA kids then? Like how do you feel that people?
That was an executive order, and look,
Peter,
we
you
have
can't-
another gentleman over
Right,
here,
we do,
but
we do. So
that
we
was
can't
an executive order.
monopolize. You can't-
That was
that's
an
what I'm
executive
saying.
order. I deal with those issues every day. That was an executive order by the president, former president of the United States. It
Okay.
never went through
Well,
Congress.
young
we didn't have a
people-
kingdom
young-
over here,
young
so you had no.
people, young people that came into this country not on their own volition, that were brought here as kids, they deserve a right to a pathway to citizenship. That's how I feel about it, right? They
And
weren't
that
brought-
should go through the United
if
States
your father or
Congress.
God forbid, your father, your mother brought you here as a child.
Yes.
And you had no way of coming here on your own volition, and they brought you here. Do you think it would be right for the America to then kick you out? And you've been a
Are we
law-abiding
talking about
citizen,
things again?
you've
You're
been
going
a
back to the
student,
emotions. We're
you-
talking
No,
with facts
how's
and
that
law. It's a
emotion?
law and
That's
order.
fact.
It's
That's
a
all
law and
fact.
order, buddy.
That's
It's a
all
law and
fact,
order.
Peter.
You violated the law when you came to the United States. You pay a price for it. If you and I go right now outside and you drive one way, you get pulled over. What happens to you? You get a fine. You may even get arrested. So because you violated the law, the regulations that we have over here, yet we're rewarding people for violating our laws. We want to make them citizens. If you move from New York City right now and you want to go to Yukon, you pay out-of-state tuition, and you're an American-born citizen. Yet you have an illegal who's been living in our state for a while. They have to prove that they've been living in our state for 2 years. They are illegal. They get in-state tuition. You're penalizing American citizens and rewarding illegals. That is not right to the American citizenry.
What do you think?
Well, as far as the illegals go, I mean, you're from New Haven.
I'm from New Haven.
This is an urban area.
This is an urban area.
And the bulk of these illegal immigrants coming in, they come to the urban areas. So that's taken away from education from the people who live in the urban areas. It's taken jobs away from them.
What kind of jobs?
Whatever jobs.
Our jobs.
Whatever jobs are available. I mean, whatever jobs.
And I'm not gonna pretend.
I don't think anyone's above or below any job.
I'm not gonna pretend and say that no illegal has ever taken any job in New Haven. I know they have. I can't speak to that because that's never affected me.
About education.
But let's talk about California, right? Where
there's a whole
bunch of illegals. My family's from California. My mother's family, and I had illegals working for my family, as housekeepers. And
I'm going to call Trump right now. I'm going to tell him that you're here. You hired illegals. What is this? Hey, call my buddy, okay? Tell him to pick him up, okay?
Listen, Pete, we might as well keep it real.
Yeah, 1/3 of the prison population is illegals.
But listen. My point is this: a lot of those people, they came in, they took care of our young people. They go out into the fields and take a lot of jobs that Americans won't take, right? They go out there, pick the oranges.
No, that is a myth. That is a myth. That is a myth.
I never saw a whole bunch of black people or white people going up there to the fields and to the fields of California saying that these
illegal immigration,
or anybody else are taking our jobs.
what illegal immigration hurts the most is the black and Hispanic community and no one else. They are not taking the jobs from people in Fairfield County. I haven't seen them very much going to the Wall Street and taking those shots over there.
There's more poor white people in this country. There's more poor white people in this country.
No, let's stick with the issue. Let's stick with the issue.
And Puerto Ricans.
Let's stick with the issue. They hurt the inner city more than anyone else. We're destroying the school system because of them. We're investing money on these people, and I'm not saying that we should be heartless and deport them and remove them from the United States.
What do you propose?
What I'm proposing and what the president is saying that let's close the border. Build a wall over there. Make sure that we don't have any other caravan coming over here with thousands and thousands of illegals.
But the president, in
and
my
then
opinion,
handle what we have.
is cherry picking.
You had President Obama.
Listen, the biggest border in our country, and Matt, you tell me if I'm wrong. The biggest border is not Mexico; it's Canada.
But
why don't we build?
We don't have an illegal
because we don't have people come in from Canada.
Check the stats, Matthew. More illegal immigrants coming through Canada than they come.
Can you cite a source for that? Can you cite a source for that? Please deal with facts. Cite a source for that.
Are they from Muslim countries?
Cite a source. I don't care where they come from. Tell me the source. Tell me the source that tells you that.
Listen, all you gotta do is check the United States immigration papers.
And you have more people coming from Canada, United States, and from Mexico.
You have just as many, if not more, immigrants coming in from a 5,000 to 6,000 mile border along Canada than you do Mexico.
The abuses that we have. Let me give you some more numbers about the southern border that we have. 90% of the illegal drugs coming to the United States, they come through the southern border.
Yeah, 90%.
They don't come through Canada. 90%. All these illegals that I was referring to, that you have 56,000 of them, they happen to be to have crossed the United States border from Mexico into the United States. And they are in federal prisons that you and I are paying for these people every single day, almost $56,000 a year to maintain them in the United States and to provide the legal services that they need here. Believe it or not, they have due process rights once they cross the border. So, you and I, and you were referring to California, do you see people moving from any other states into California, or do you see Californians leaving California and moving to other states?
Fleeing.
They are fleeing the state because the failed liberal policies in that state are destroying that great state of ours.
To just state that Mexico is the only problem, to only state that people
Honduras, Guatemala.
Okay, or any southern American states, Central American state or nationality or country.
Mr. Davis started this conversation.
You did.
A very, very controversial topic.
He did. But to say that is misleading, though.
That's why I like you, showman. You're good at this.
Right. Thank you. Yeah, I
And we
appreciate
started by being a gentleman.
Yeah, we
said,
were.
You know something, we're not going to be divided, we're united, we're
listen,
Americans. Yes, we are. But,
we disagree a little bit, but I understand where you're coming from. I understand where you're coming from, Peter. But my point is this: there's immigrants coming in from all over the place. It's not just Mexico, and I think it's wrong to demonize just black and brown people and not talk about the other border that's to the north of us, where other people are coming in from Europe, Asia, whatever.
We're not looking at them as black or brown people.
Well, that's what you're talking about, though. You said Mexican, Peter.
No,
you said Mexican.
I didn't say Mexicans. I said
Mexican border.
Through Mexican border.
Are those people black or brown?
I don't care what they are. Why would you go to the race issue? Because
a lot of this is about race.
Hold on a second. Absolutely not.
I'm not saying you're racist. I'm not saying you're racist, but this is about race.
Usually people that have something that bothers them that they want to express it publicly but they're afraid to express it, they talk about that topic. And if you're talking about race, trust me, that bothers you, not me, because I never talk about it.
I didn't say it bothers you. I didn't say it bothers you.
And
what I say is that we have to look at the facts.
And if we have to talk about it, let's talk about it, and I have no problems with that. If you have Italians or Albanians or Eastern Europeans doing what the Latin Americans are doing, coming over here illegally, imposing their values and telling me that I'm going to cross the border illegally and therefore I want to become an American, whether you like it or not. We are a nation of laws. I don't care where you come from.
Peter, I totally agree with that. We are a nation of laws, and they should not be doing it. But at the same time, we have to be very, very cognizant of why America was founded. America was founded on the principle of freedom.
Don't give me a lesson on how America was founded.
People come to America. Listen, my people built America. Okay, so I think I can talk about it, Peter. I think I can talk about it, Peter. My people, my ancestors were born here enslaved. My ancestors. Let me finish, Peter. My ancestors. Can I finish? I'll let you talk.
They were brought to the United States.
My ancestors were brought here in chains as chattel slavery against their will. My ancestors.
And America at that time didn't exist. It was the British colony. So
America
don't blame it on the
in
Americans.
in the Constitution,
okay. And the Republicans were the ones.
of a man.
And the Republicans, you should study that because you said you want to become a professor. That was the reason that they put in the Constitution to make sure that one day you will become free, and you became free.
And that's where the 14th Amendment came from, too.
We have a mechanism in the United States. I don't think you should. I don't think as an American, you and I who are American citizens, we should be whining about America. We should be promoting the greatness of this nation because it's a great nation.
Yeah, we are
However,
a great nation.
We should have
we're great because of our. Are you an immigrant? Are you an immigrant?
Absolutely.
Okay,
Absolutely.
so you're saying that immigrants can come to this country
legally.
They can start families, start businesses, make money, pay taxes. Let me finish. Pay taxes.
No, don't skip that.
Become productive
Do not skip the legal thing. I said legally.
Listen.
Come legally. I have no problems with that. I said I waited in a refugee camp for 9 months to come over here. Come legally.
You know what? Rob, let's change the subject. Let's change the subject, bro.
No, man, just play by the rules. That's all I want. Play by the rules, man.
And I'm not disagreeing with you, but it seems like me and you are disagreeing on who's being targeted and who's not being targeted.
Illegals are being targeted.
And if we cannot talk about all of the illegals that are coming into the country from other places as well, not just Central and South America, then you're not being fair.
We're talking about the
process.
border. We're talking about the border.
Which border?
Mexico.
Mexico. Mexicans are bad.
Oh no, that's what you're saying. No.
Mexicans are criminals. They're going to come in America and rape your daughters and take your jobs. Fair politics doesn't work.
Can you say that to a family, to an American family in Fairfield?
No, I would not say that.
Hold on a second. I'll give you 4 examples right now in the state of Connecticut whose families were murdered or raped by illegals. Can you say that to a guy?
I know more families that are murdered and raped by other Americans than were by illegals.
We're talking about illegals, not about Americans. But you cannot be sarcastic about someone's family who's being murdered by these people. I don't think that's funny at all.
I'm not being sarcastic.
Absolutely, I don't think that's funny at all.
Like I said, more Americans are killed by other Americans than illegals.
Well, the one third of them. There's 1/3 of the prison population is illegals.
Yes,
and that's just the federal. That's the federal prisons. But they're not in there. They're in there for rape, murder, drug dealing, drunk driving. They're not in there for being illegal. They're in there for committing other crimes. And we're paying for that. Why can't they just deport them people automatically? There you go. That'll solve some problems.
Well, elect somebody that will do that then.
Look, we elected someone who's planning to do that, but the likes of you and the Democrats are preventing him from doing the job. Yep, absolutely. The liberals. The failed
liberals care more about illegal immigrants than Americans.
No, I care about America. I'm an American.
Then build a wall.
We're not denying
family
that. No one is denying that.
American
We're not
for
denying that.
generations.
We're
Before
not
your
denying
family
that.
came here, my
We're
family
not
was
denying
here.
that.
So
Look,
we're Americans.
look,
I'm
look.
American. You're
Look,
American.
we're not denying
what
that.
I'm saying is that
No
we
one is
have to
denying
be
your citizenship.
smart
What we're
about
saying.
it. We have to be compassionate about it. We have to be.
You had a president for whom you voted, Obama. He had the United
don't
States
know.
House. You know.
Listen.
Trust me, you did. You had,
No.
you had the
Peter,
House.
give me the respect. Give me the respect of at least asking me, brother.
Well,
Give me
you
the
just
respect-
told me that
No,
before.
just give me the respect
You're a
to asking
Democrat.
me.
I don't think you
Give me the
voted
respect
for.
to ask me.
I don't think
At
you
least
voted
ask me
for this
first if
guy.
I voted for.
Okay.
Ask me if I voted
Look,
for Obama.
Regardless, but
And I didn't vote for Obama against Trump because they didn't run against each other.
Who?
I didn't vote against Trump with Obama because they didn't run
Oh
against
no, I
each
know
other.
that. I know, but I said you didn't
All
vote
right,
for Trump.
all right.
What I said is this: you had Obama for 8 years,
Mm-hmm.
and for 3 or 4 years, he had both the House and the Senate, and he had a chance to fix immigration. Did he fix it?
No.
Why didn't he do that?
You know what? I
Yeah.
really don't know. I'm sure it's a very tough political nut to crack. Has Trump?
He's
Trump
doing
had,
it.
Trump had
He's
the
doing
House
it.
and Senate
He's
for
trying
2.5
to
to 3 years as well.
And
Did he
he's
fix
doing
it? Yes or no?
He's done more. He's doing
Did
it.
he fix it? Yes or no?
It takes a while
Did
to do
he
that.
fix it? Yes or no?
He is.
While he had the House and the Senate, did he fix it?
Absolutely, he is. He's
You-
building the
come
wall.
on, you're lying,
He's building the wall.
Peter. You're lying.
Look.
He did not fix
I
it.
cannot believe you
I
want
admit-
to.
I
You want
admitted
to
that
teach
Obama
a
didn't fix it.
Quinnipiac one day, and you're telling people you lied on the show.
Peter.
I would never use that word with you.
Peter, I admitted that
I would never
Obama.
use that word with you.
Peter, okay, fair enough. But
But-
I admitted that Obama did not fix it while he had the House and the Senate.
Why
I
did
just
he do
asked you
that?
the same question about
He's
Trump.
doing it. He's doing it.
He's not. He did
That-
do it. Did he do it when he had the House and the Senate? Yes
and
or
he,
no?
he's doing it.
Did he do it when he had the House
Absolutely.
and the Senate?
He reversed. Well, let me finish. He reversed the catch and release policy, which was implemented by Obama. He made sure that all the refugees, they're claiming to be refugees, they're going to be processed properly instead of coming to the United States. And they are caught. You give them a piece of paper and you ask them to appear in front of an immigration judge. He's reversing that. He's
Did he
building the
pass
wall.
comprehensive
You know-
immigration reform with the House and the Senate that were both Republican for 3 years? Yes or no?
What do you mean for 3 years? He's
For 2
been
years,
there
sorry,
for 3 years.
for 2 years.
Okay.
Yes or
He's
no?
working on that. He's working.
He doesn't
on
have
that.
the House anymore, though. He doesn't have the
Doesn't
House
matter.
anymore.
Doesn't matter. He's working on that.
All
The
right.
Democrats are going to have to support this, building the wall, and then getting the immigration reform that they need.
You know what?
Because
Okay,
the Democrats
well-
want to have that too.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
fair enough.
absolutely.
Let's
I firmly
change the
believe that.
subject, Rob. Can we talk about something else?
Yeah, sure. We can talk about Connecticut.
No. What?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, let's talk about
We live
Connecticut.
here.
But
Come
listen,
on.
listen. No, I want to hear about your the listeners, the viewers. Are any
Well,
viewers asking
the
questions?
viewers are mostly, one viewer, R.C. Martin, said 45 has been in more scandals than any other president. Obama's been in none. Carly Knox said Peter's a racist.
That's a good.
Get him out of here. Get him out of here, Rob.
Oh, come
Listen.
on.
I don't think
Peter's wearing the new white hood on his head.
I
think you're
don't
racist.
have to defend myself to
And I'm
anybody
not-
when it comes to
I
that.
hear you.
Because if I were
And
a
what I'm-
Democrat, I would have to be a racist. To be a Democrat, you have to be a racist. I'm a Republican, and they should know the history of the Republican Party.
Now, what is-
we,
for
the
people who don't know, what
Republican
is the
Party,
history?
the Republican Party, when it was established in the 1800s, it was established with the intent of freeing black people in the United States. Every amendment that we passed in the Constitution of the United States to have equal rights over here, the Republicans voted 95 to 100% in favor. The Democrats were against it.
That was up to
the
1960.
Democrat
That was up to 1960. But you're correct about that. The
1960
Republicans
Jim Crow laws, they were Democrat laws that segregated you,
I agree.
weren't they?
No, yes,
Then
yes.
then where are the Republicans or the racists?
because it
All
changed
the
because
facts that I gave you.
it,
Here's your history lesson for free.
and I told you you're correct. But what I'm saying is that
I
it
just
changed.
provided
It changed from
history lesson for free.
from a presidential perspective because Kennedy came in 60.
Yeah,
Kennedy was a
I know this
Democrat
history.
and passed
Yeah.
and tried to pass the civil
And
rights
I
bill.
wish we would have more Democrats that like Kennedy. I'm tired of you socialists.
So you socialist.
Yes.
You socialist. You hear this guy, Rob? I just called a socialist.
Yeah.
I'm Stalin up in here. I'm
the
you know,
Democrat.
Listen.
The
I'm-
Democrat
listen,
Party no
even
longer
though
is a
even
Democrat
though I'm
party,
dark skinned,
man.
I am no Che Guevara. I'm no Che Guevara. I'm not a socialist. I'm not a communist. I believe in free markets. I
You
believe
do?
I do. I believe
All right,
people
let me-
work and they get paid.
did-
They take care of their
Let
families.
me tell you something else.
I
You
believe in
look
that.
at every city
And,
that
and
is.
so do a lot of other
I
Democrats.
know that. I know. I'm just joking.
Okay?
But look, you're not a socialist. You're getting
I'm not
there.
a
You're getting
socialist.
there. You need some work, but you're getting there. But I'll tell you one thing.
Are you gonna let this guy talk?
Look, I'll tell you one thing. Look at every city that is failing in our state. You start with Bridgeport, you come to New Haven, you go to whatever city that is failing, including Hartford. Not even 100 years ago, Hartford was one of the richest cities in the United States. Who's been running Hartford, Bridgeport, New Haven, all these cities for the past 50 years? And they destroyed their school system. They destroyed their family values. They created government dependency. And you still supporting the Democrats after they destroyed you guys?
You know what? That's a fair
Man,
point.
it's about time for
Listen,
you to take.
Peter,
Black's
just
it,
something.
man.
Can
Black's
I
it,
give you
man.
credit? Can I give you credit, Peter? You make fair points there. You make fair points.
That's accurate. Is that accurate?
That's accurate. Democrats have not done the best job fiscally managing our cities in Connecticut. You look at Bridgeport, you definitely look at New Haven under Tony Hart. You look at Hartford getting the state bailout a couple of years ago. Yes, I agree with that. What I'm saying is that on a primal level, we are probably the same. We have a lot of the same fiscal thoughts about how things need to be changed. I believe in fiscal responsibility. I don't believe in wasteful government. I don't believe in patronage jobs. I don't believe...
man, you need this hat, man.
No,
Come
no,
on.
I don't need that. No, I don't need that.
Join the
Because
party,
I
man.
don't need that. You know why I don't need that, Peter? Because of what it represents. But you know what? I do agree with you from a financial perspective that Democrats have not done the best job. But it's because of the party system. It's because of the labor system that we have right now. And I think it's changing. I think it's changing because it has to change. Because it's no longer sustainable to be running cities like this. It's no longer sustainable to be having boards of education that are full of bloat, full of mismanagement, full of waste. The police overtime, the fire overtime, at least in the city of New Haven, was out of whack within the first month of the fiscal year.
And who's the mayor in New Haven?
The mayor of New Haven is Tony Hart.
And who's the mayor in Bridgeport?
Mayor in Bridgeport is Joe Gannon.
Gannon.
And they're
And
both
who's in
Democrats. It's Luke Bronin.
Find me one city under their leadership that has succeeded.
That succeeded?
Yep. Succeeded.
Well, it depends on what you mean by succeed. What do you mean by succeed?
Well, at least where you
Like,
have
quantify
security.
that, quantify
but
that.
It's very simple. Where you have good schools, where you have security, safety, where you have employment, where you can create wealth and equity, where you can raise a family. Find one of those
I agree.
places that you would pick up if you were, let's say, in Greenwich, Connecticut, and you say, I'm moving to Hartford because it's so attractive.
Probably not. Probably not.
Why not?
But our urban problems are systemic. Okay, these problems have been going on since
You
people
know,
started
here's the
moving.
problem.
Can I
Here's the
finish?
problem.
Peter, can I get one thought out, please? These problems have started.
still
since
waiting for a thought.
These problems have started. I like this guy. These problems have started since people started moving out of the fields and started moving into cities in the mid 1850s. Okay, so these problems have been
another
growing.
history lesson over
These
here.
programs have been growing. I mean, and these problems have been growing for 150 years. So the problem isn't necessarily that the cities have issues. It's how we're going to fix them going forward. And I think the best way to fix them right now is to get smart leaders in place that understand that you can't tax and spend your way out of these problems.
Why didn't you get smart
Okay?
leaders
You cannot
20
tax
years
and
ago?
spend your way out of problems.
20 years ago, you had the same problems in Bridgeport. 20 years ago, you had the same problems in Hartford and New Haven. Why did you wait 20 years to get a smart leader to help these cities? Because you've been voting time and again for the Democrats. Why don't you give a chance to a Republican and say, you know something? You guys haven't done the job. It's time that we try a Republican.
Well, we can't give chances to the Republicans
What
because
about
you
yours?
guys are
What
going
about-
around
about
wearing
Lloyd?
"Make America Great" hats again. I mean, like.
Well, you're
what-
part of
what does it
America,
have to
aren't
do
you?
with
I am
tax and
American, and I
spending?
want to make America great again, but I don't think we should do it the Trumpian way. Okay? And
You
a
had
way-
the Obama way, but it failed us for 8 years.
No. What are you talking about? It failed us.
Yes, it
we
did.
saw.
It did.
No, what are you
Yes,
talking
it
about?
did.
Unemployment went down.
No, it didn't.
Economic
When?
development
What are you
went up.
talking
What are you
about?
talking about?
Oh,
Where
no,
did it
man.
go down?
What are you talking about?
If I do
Listen.
some reading, because I think that
Listen,
will
you know what?
inform you.
I
Do some research,
I
because
didn't
that
know-
will inform you.
I
Because
do
you
need to
know
do the
that we
research,
get-
Peter.
Where are
you
those
know that we
shovel-ready
get
jobs?
40.
Obama
Why?
admitted
Because
that
of
there was
George
never
Bush.
any
George
shovel-ready
Bush-
jobs.
George
He
Bush-
stole trillions of
George
dollars.
Bush-
Your friend George Bush put
I
us
want
in a
my money
recession.
back.
I want my
Your
money back.
president George Bush put us in a
He robbed
recession.
us.
What happened to the financial crisis? Was that Obama's fault?
Did
too?
Obama
Oh,
fix the
gee.
recession?
Oh, that who didn't fix the recession.
I'll
So,
tell you one thing.
The Republican,
I'll tell you one thing.
the
Davis.
Republican creates the problem, but it's up to the Democrat to fix it. Is
Yeah.
that fair? Is
Hold
that
on
fair?
a second.
Yeah,
It's
man.
up to Trump to fix
Tell me,
Obama's
tell
problems.
me one problem that Obama fixed for 8 years.
Folks, help me out here.
Just
I
give
need
me
help.
one. Give me
I need help.
No, I know, but look, we're here, man. Don't worry about that, okay? We'll do a session right after this. It's some sort of therapy. But I'll tell you one thing. Tell me one good thing that you can say that Obama did for 8 years for your community.
One thing that Obama did for
Yeah.
Oh,
Come
I'm
on,
sorry.
one thing.
I'm sorry.
8 years, you don't remember one thing?
One thing that Obama did for my community in particular.
Look, when you
was-
repeat my
He
question,
won't-
that means you
he
don't have
won't
an
even let me
answer.
finish.
I'm
He won't even let
sorry.
me finish.
Because you
He
don't have
won't-
an answer.
Well, because
One
because
thing.
I think before I speak. You may not,
No,
but
you're
I do.
repeating my question because you don't have an
I
answer.
speak before I think. You asked me what did Obama do
One good
specifically
thing.
for my community.
Yes.
What he did for my community
Yes.
was give us hope that we could be anything.
Hope?
In this,
What are you, Oprah?
In this,
Did
let me
he create any
I
job
can't
for
even
you?
finish. What are you talking about? Yes, actually he did. When I was working out in
What was the
Bridgeport,
unemployment
can I-
of the black
can I
community
finish?
during
Can-
the Obama
you-
administration?
Peter, if you're going to ask a question, you got to let me finish.
Because you're not giving an answer.
Peter,
you're
if
giving
you
me
ask
hope
a question,
and
you
hope.
gotta let me finish, brother. Please.
What-
You asked me number one,
what
what did
was the
Obama
up-
do? And you asked me number
Yes.
two, did he create a job for me? And actually he did. Because I actually worked on an American Recovery and Reinvestment Act grant that
On the
that
taxpayer's
Can I
expense.
finish?
He
Can
didn't
I
create a
finish?
job.
Can I finish?
That's
That
not job
created
creation.
1,000 workforce jobs
That's not job
and
creation.
environmental
That's not
environmental
job creation.
preservation in Fairfield County. I
Having the
did that.
taxpayers' money invested in these failed projects, that's not job creation. I'll tell
I
you one
worked
thing.
on a project.
There are
I worked on a
there are
healthcare
three
project.
requirements
Can
for
I
the
finish?
GDP.
I
No.
worked on a healthcare project that helped 1,000 people get jobs in healthcare
Three-
as medical assistants, as nurses, as billing assistants.
Hold on a
That
second.
was all given by
me-
the
let me-
Obama administration. So yes,
That
Obama's
was the taxpayers'
Obama,
money
listen,
invested in those failed projects.
and what
That's
is,
not
and what is
job
Trump
creation.
doing?
That's-
Trump is giving tax
we
breaks
have
to the
full-
rich.
hold on a second.
He's giving $1 billion
Let me-
back to the rich.
No,
What's
no,
going on
no,
with that,
this is
Peter?
not about Trump. This is not
No,
about
yes,
Trump.
this is
But
about
let
Trump
me-
because he's president now. This is about
Hold
Trump.
on a second. We got a call.
He's
No, we gotta
president
call-
right now.
Oh, okay.
Caller, you were right to hang up.
Yes.
But please
yes,
call
but
back.
Please call back.
Please
okay?
call back.
Look, we're locked in. We
Please
don't
call
leave
in to
until
the
we
number
resolve these issues,
917.
okay? Let me tell you something. I looked at the GDP during the Obama administration, and there are three elements with regard to GDP. You have government spending, you have consumption, and investment. Investment is the only one that creates wealth and equity. Obama
What about tax
administration
breaks?
has. Hold on a second.
What about tax breaks?
Hold on a second. Let me finish the three requirements, and trust me,
What about-
it's a good
I'm
thing
just
to know,
asking,
man.
what
It's a
about
good
tax
thing to know.
breaks?
Tax breaks? We didn't get any tax breaks
What are
from
you
him.
talking about? Trump just gave $1 billion in tax breaks to the wealthiest.
No, all
2
of
or
us
3%.
got it. Whoever
no,
works got it.
No.
Yeah, I'll grab it.
Trump gave-
I'll grab it.
Let's grab this call. Go ahead, caller.
Hey, Rob, it's Carly.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good.
Hi, Carly.
Hi, Carly.
Hi, everybody. Peter, do you honestly think that Donald Trump is the ideal, smart leader for the United States of America? Can you honestly, give us an honest answer?
Absolutely, I'll give you an honest answer. I don't think we'll ever be able to get an ideal leader, but the voters.
No, but you think
will-
he's a smart, ideal leader?
Look, I'll explain to you. When the voters decided to elect him, 63 million people voted for him. The Electoral College elected him,
I
and
said,
that
do
is the
you?
Constitution.
I didn't ask what everybody else
If
did.
I were to
I
choose-
asked.
In
Carly,
other
I think
words-
his answer is no.
No.
I think his answer is
Yeah.
no.
Okay, here's
Yeah,
a
I
guy.
thought so too.
Here's a guy who's very good at answering for others, but cannot answer his own question.
Well, 'cause you don't let me.
No,
'Cause you
but-
don't let
No,
me.
no. Hold on a second. I didn't interrupt you.
Yes, you
interrupted me.
did.
Hold on a second.
tried.
Carly, I firmly believe that he's the right man at the right time for the job that we need to get done for the next 6 years that he's left, because he's going to get reelected.
Oh, hell no. No, I don't think so.
I
No.
think so, and I'll do my part to make sure that he does.
Carly, are you a voter?
Yes, I am.
And what do you feel is the biggest threat to American society right now in this country?
Donald Trump.
Why is that? And why is that? Why do you
I mean-
viscerally feel like that?
What a leading question. If I were the prosecutor right now, I would say, objection, Your
This
Honor.
is not a court of law. This is not a court of law, Peter. Peter, this is not a court of law.
Objection,
This
Your
is
Honor.
the Raw Report, and in the Raw Report we have
Your
have
Honor.
questions.
Hey, Davis is the judge. Your Honor, objection. Objection. That's a leading question.
Go ahead. Now,
Carly, why do you think so? Seriously.
Can you repeat the question?
Yeah, I said, why do you feel Donald Trump is the biggest threat to America right now?
There's several reasons. I mean, does anybody watch CNN?
Just give one reason, please.
Does anybody watch the
We can't
news?
CNN.
He
What-
can't spell for
I
one.
can't. I can't sit here and say that I know everything. But whenever I turn on the TV, there's something about a Russia investigation with Donald Trump. Everybody's getting
Carly,
indicted.
thank you
And
very much.
Carly,
The Russian
I think
investigation.
you should turn off CNN and do some independent research in this case before you, because if you don't
well,
have
I
at least
but
three
I work
reasons.
in media, so
Yeah,
I know what's going on.
Look,
I'm
look,
familiar with
that's-
some
that's-
things, but
why
So
I
that
mean,
is the
I never
narrative.
heard of Obama
That is
being
the
having his
brainwashing that is.
administration being in so much trouble.
Okay, Carly, that is the brainwashing that is taking place in our society because of the media, and they are very much interested in making sure that they defeat the president instead of allowing the United States to succeed.
Okay, here
And
I have
shame
one
on
more
them for doing
question. I have
that.
one more question, and I'll let you guys go. For Peter, do you think Donald Trump is a racist?
Absolutely not.
Okay, I've heard
Absolutely
enough.
not. And I'll tell you
Rob, I
one
gotta
thing.
go.
I'll tell you
All
one
right,
thing.
thanks for calling, Carly.
Thanks, Carly.
And
Bye.
I hope you're listening, but I'll tell you one thing. If I believe for a second that any one of the Republican Party that I know of, or that I supported, or voted for, or donated to, are racist, I would never remain part of that party. One of the reasons why I didn't join the Democrat Party has to do with the fact that they are racists and they are oppressing you guys every single day,
listen.
and you still put up with
Peter,
that crap.
I
Excuse my
wouldn't
language.
call Trump racist either. I wouldn't call Trump racist. What I would say is that he has racist tendencies, and there's a difference.
Give me an
There's a
example.
difference.
Give me an example, buddy.
Listen,
Just give
when
me an
you, when,
example.
you, when you call all Mexicans
He didn't call all
criminals,
Mexicans.
when you
He
say
didn't
that
call all
when
Mexicans that.
when you use fear to drive home points. It's at
No,
least,
he's using
it's
facts,
at
and you
least
fear
bigotry.
those facts.
It's at
He's
least
using
bigotry.
facts, and you fear facts.
Fear facts.
Yes, you fear facts. The Democrats
No, he's
are afraid of
using
facts.
fear.
No, he's using facts.
As
He's using
and coming
facts.
up with fake facts.
There's a major difference.
to
He's
make
not
something
making them up.
happen, and
I
it's not working
referred-
on most people.
Yeah,
Listen,
he's citing
if-
sources about those facts.
If
I
it
gave
walks
you
like
numbers.
a duck, it quacks like a duck, then it's a duck.
No, Donald
now,
Trump
I
was
don't
a
think,
lifelong Democrat.
Yeah, of course
Until
he
he
is.
started running for president.
But just
and
because
then all of a sudden everyone's against
to
him.
Peter's point, just because you're a Democrat doesn't mean you're a racist either.
Same
The
thing
most-
with-
Oh, no,
if
you
you're
have
some
to-
of the most
Republican,
you have
racist,
to-
you're a
some of
racist
the most
You have
bigoted
to-
people
that
I
is-
know, some of the most
are
bigoted people I've
Democrats.
ever come across
Are
are
Democrats.
Democrats.
I know
Okay?
that.
They're
I know
tree-hugging
that.
liberals that
I
you would
know.
never think are racist, but they have racist tendencies and they're prejudiced.
No, they're
against people of
openly
color.
openly racist.
Yeah, when they get
And I'll tell you-
in rooms with you and people
No,
that look
no.
like you.
When they talk
when they
to
get
you,
in rooms like us,
when they talk to
they're
you,
talking-
when they talk to you, and you still don't get it, that is the unfortunate part, because they destroyed your communities, they destroyed your families, they destroyed your Judeo-Christian values, they failed your communities,
More
and they
Christians.
keep on doing that. You're trying to maintain that, but they destroyed everything that the black community stood for until 1960s. Then the Democrats showed up and destroyed you, and you
Great
still put up with
society.
that. It is time for you to do the Brexit and become a Republican.
Did he just say Brexit? Did he just say Brexit?
Brexit, okay?
All right, so we're going to bring European politics into this now. Listen, I'd rather stick a little bit more local, and I appreciate that. Peter, listen. Again, I'm not saying you're wrong about all of this stuff. We, black people in particular, and people in general, have been screwed over a lot by the Democratic Party. I agree with that. What I think what you need to do is start looking at people more on an individual basis, looking at their platforms, looking at what they bring to the table, looking at how their trustworthiness, whether or not we can trust them, and that's one of the major issues I have with our president right now. I don't know if he's trustworthy enough. All this, to Kerry's point, all of this Russian investigation, all of his top people have been indicted or are going to jail or are in jail.
And they
what do you
yet-
have to
They're
say
not
about that?
indicted or going to jail
What do you
or
have to say
anything
about that?
about Russia.
None of them.
What
None
are you
of them.
talking about?
No,
The whole
no,
Trump
no.
Tower
Nothing
meeting.
None of
The
them.
whole Trump Tower
No.
meeting
So he
is
can't
with
build a
Rob
tower
Stone.
in Russia?
No,
I
no,
didn't
no.
say he can't
None
build
of
a
them
tower
has
in
been
Russia. He lied
indicted.
about it.
But
he
he-
lied about it, Matthew. He said during the campaign that he had no ties to Russia. You know
Professor,
that.
none of
You
them
know
have been
that.
indicted so far on a Russian collusion or conspiracy
Bob
or anything.
Mueller, if you're listening to
Did
the Raw
Bob
Report,
Mueller, Bob
if you're
Mueller's
listening to the
report
Raw
hasn't
Report,
come.
please call in.
Yeah, please do
call
so.
in.
Please do so. Here's the
I
number,
want to
okay?
hear from Bob Mueller
That
right
we're
now.
waiting for the report. But look, if anyone can come up with any facts that contradicts what the president stands for when it comes to United States of America, I would agree with you. Carly just called in and she said, is he a racist? Point out to one thing that this guy did racist. You go back to prior to his election. Look at the pictures that he had with Jesse Jackson and all these famous community leaders that are failing you every single day. They are the ones who are failing you.
Donald
I
Trump-
don't think it's Donald Trump
And
the
I
one
think
who's
sometimes-
harming the black or the
Right.
inner city communities.
I understand,
I don't
Peter.
see
And
that.
Peter, sometimes I
As
think
a
that
matter of fact, they
you-
just approved a huge fund to revitalize the cities, and Obama never did that, and he happened to
I heard about that.
billions
Listen, Peter,
of dollars.
I think
So
sometimes
I don't
you
see
take-
him as a
I
racist.
think
I'll
you
be honest with
sometimes-
you.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes you see a disagreement as me not wanting, or Democrats in general not wanting to see Trump succeed. That is not the case. I want Trump to succeed. He is our president.
You're a reasonable Democrat. I like that.
He was elected.
You're a reasonable
He won the
Democrat.
election. Like, I want to see him succeed. I want him to do well for America because we are all Americans,
Well,
right?
absolutely.
People are born
Marcus.
to be here. So
Look,
I
but-
don't want to see him fail. But what I do want is honesty. What I
Look,
do want
if
is
the
integrity.
media-
What I do want is for him to be the standard bearer of what we hold dear as Americans.
But,
Now,
which
somebody
is
made a
fun.
good point in the comments. They said, "What about the Central Park Five? Are y'all familiar with the Central Park Five case?"
Go ahead. Let me hear that.
The Central Park 5 case happened in the early to mid 80s, where a couple of black boys were accused of rape, raping a white woman
Central Park.
In Central Park.
Yeah.
I don't think it was ever proven that they
Well,
actually.
they arrested them. They were like 17 and younger.
Right, they were young. They were young kids.
And the person who actually did it came forward.
Came forward later.
Later.
Yeah.
So it wasn't even that forward. And what Trump did was he got out in front of it, not only politicized it, but made it racial, to my knowledge, and spoke out against evil blacks out here. And he wrote some kind of op-ed saying that those kids should be fried. Like, these are kids. He wrote an op-ed in the New York Times or something saying that those kids need to be
You're referring to New York
strung up.
Times and CNN as credible sources of
No,
anything?
no, not CNN. I didn't say
Really?
CNN. I didn't say
She was
CNN.
talking about CNN. You're talking about
No,
New York Times.
Bob brought up something about the Central Park 5. I didn't say anything about CNN.
This is 2019.
Bob, speak up,
this
please.
is
Because this was
2000
something that a caller or listener was talking about, right?
Yes,
So I didn't bring
yeah.
this up. That's what they brought up.
No,
Peter.
but this is 2019, and if we're
No,
talking about this,
but
this
you have
president
to look at
2019,
people's past as well as an indicator of what they're
Yeah,
going
but
to
he
do in the
also
future.
you know, look,
Right?
I'm not aware of
Okay, fair
this
enough.
president ever having used those words.
Fair enough, fair
you know,
enough.
But as I said, I mean, you're very good. The liberals are very good at making up stuff as they go along and making up facts. And I just, I don't deal with that kind of. If there's no source for that, I mean, I'm not going to CNN for a source.
It's
Trust
not
me, it's not a
CNN.
crime.
Go to the
or
New
New
York
York Times, or New York Times for that matter. Tell me,
This was 30 years ago,
92% of the
35 years
reporting,
ago.
92% of the report in the media today is negative about the president. You don't think that the president deserves a little more credibility and a little more positive reporting on
I
him?
think credibility.
92%?
I think credibility is
on.
earned, Peter. You
Nevertheless,
just don't give it to people; they earn it. The reason why CNN and
you
all
think
the other
CNN has earned
liberal media,
credibility?
MSNBC, and all those people don't give him respect is because he doesn't deserve.
Do you know
their
that the
respect.
president's approval rating is at 50%, 51%?
It is not at 51%.
Congress,
Actually,
right now, it's
it's
little
at
lower.
30 it's in the low 30s, actually.
Congress is 17. Congress is 17.
Is at 32%.
Congress is 17. Where is the media? What is the media's approval rating? It's 12%. And you still cite that as a source, CNN or MSNBC or CBS? I mean, come on. Nevertheless, I think it's an
personally didn't-
interesting
I
thing.
personally didn't cite
It's an
anything
interesting
from
thing
CNN.
if we talk about Lamont. We got a new governor in our state.
Yes,
And
not Lamont.
not Lamont. And I think it's
Ned
time for
Malloy?
you and I to start preparing to leave the state because they're going to get hit with taxes
Whoa,
again.
whoa. Not so fast, cowboy.
Hey, why not, man? I wanna
Not
leave.
so fast,
Come on,
cowboy.
man.
Peter, I worked for Ned Lamont back in 2011, and I ran his field operations. I forget, was he running for governor? I think it was for governor against Malloy the first time.
Man,
in
you have worked for
2011.
everybody.
For 2011 in New Haven. And what I liked about Ned, okay, and how he's actually been pleasantly surprising is that he's not going with all of the old political folks that normally come into a Democratic administration. As a matter of fact,
What is that
he brought-
supposed to mean?
That means that he brought in more financial people to head up the finances of the state.
are you
He's
prepared
brought
to-
in non-politicians. He's brought in non-politicians to lead strategic
Such as
departments.
who?
The Office of Policy and Development.
That is all appointments that he's making to
but
his
he's
own
making smart
cronies and
appointments.
friends.
He's making smart appointments,
Are you-
smarter than
are
a
you-
lot of other people.
Are you?
Well, the state's
Come on.
looking at a $1.8
So
billion
why is the
deficit.
Democrats' answer to anything is taxes? They have no other answers to anything but taxes.
Taxes,
Well, this-
taxes,
Lamont-
redistribution of
tax.
property.
You know, I'm
in
moving
Lamont's
That's
case-
redistribution.
in Lamont's
Sweet delay
case, he has to
gets
be in
tax
office
delay.
30 days, though.
No, I get
Like,
that.
he
I
hasn't
get
been in office 30
Look,
days.
I'm
so he's
hoping.
coming after Malloy, and he has a lot to clean
So
up.
it's just funny
What do
about
you mean? He has to
Connecticut.
clean up after who?
Malloy.
And who was Malloy? Democrat or Republican?
Malloy was a Democrat.
And then they
For
voted
8
another
years.
Democrat.
And we voted another Democrat who's even
Real
more liberal
smart,
than the
because
one that we
orange
just
man
voted
bad.
out.
You're one vote, I'm one vote, Matt's one vote,
No,
Rob's
he
one vote.
won.
So,
He
hey,
won fairly
hey,
squarely. He did.
don't-
He did.
Yeah.
I'm not disputing that.
All right.
The
Shows the mentality of
Republicans,
Connecticut
the Republicans,
voters.
and I'm a Republican. I think that the biggest
No.
problem that they had. No, actually, I'm a conservative. I'm a
You're not.
conservative.
You're not.
Hey, come on, Dave. Come on. Look, I'm a Republican. Okay, come on. Tell me one thing. The biggest problem that we had as Republicans last year, I don't think we were able to unite behind Stefanowski, because that would have been, from my point of view at least.
Stefanowski admitted that he had never even voted. I mean,
He was a low energy guy.
Yeah, like, I mean, come on.
Look,
I mean, he
won the
wasn't
primary.
gonna win against
He won the
Lamar.
primary.
I mean, come
I should have been me, but I didn't
should
win the
have been.
primary. So what do you
Should
need to do? Okay, come on.
I was following your campaign
Were you?
too. Yeah, I was.
Will you vote for me? Because I'll run again.
You know what?
Come on,
You
man.
know
Make a
what?
promise here.
Now after meeting
Oh,
you,
gee.
I was gonna maybe consider voting for you, but
Well,
now
Well, then I bet
I
you
don't know, man.
absolutely not. He's like, get out, get out.
No, I would never say that. I never would say that. No, because Peter, I respect you. I respect your opinion. I
look,
respect
I,
your position. So I would never say
I-
that.
I
And
think
I would
it
have to
was
listen to your platform. But I
I-
was
I-
following you.
I think we had a pretty good chance
Yeah.
to get a Republican elected in 2018.
So why couldn't you beat Bob? Like what did Bob bring to the table that people
Look,
didn't get
I'm
with your campaign?
I'm a fiscal conservative,
Right.
and Bob came from that kind of field. I endorse Bob, but he was not my first choice. I mean, during the time that we were sort of looking for the nomination for the convention, I mean, Bob appeared. He was one of the last ones to appear on the scene. But look, he showed up. He had some very good points. He wiped the floor with all of us and won the primary, and I respected the process and I supported him. Do I believe that he would be a better governor than what we have right now? It remains to be seen, because he's not in a position of being evaluated now, because he's not the governor, and we're going to have to wait for Lamont and see what he does. But I think Lamont is going to move to the left. We're going to get the tolls. We're going to get more taxes. If he's going to tax the groceries and pass the property tax, the statewide property tax, and all these taxes, this is forced redistribution, and it's going to hurt people like you and I. I think that cutting taxes, cutting regulation, strengthening the currency, and allowing people to create wealth and equity is the answer to capitalism. It's not destroying that, and I'm afraid that he's going to destroy that.
Well, I don't disagree with all of those points. I do not disagree.
Gee,
What
man,
I
I'm telling
think-
you, he's going to vote for me next time.
I am not.
All right, he's going. What do you mean you're not?
But because listen, I'm a realist, right? And I'm a pessimist at heart, but I try to be more optimistic. If you speak truth to power, and you're correct, then I'm going to tell you that. Like, I have no problem giving credit where credit is due. I have no problem with certain Republican policies that are good, because we know what
Tell
doesn't.
me
we
one
know,
Republican policy that is bad.
We know what doesn't work.
Okay, tell me one thing.
What do you mean?
A Republican policy that you don't like.
On what level? State level, local level, national
Let's
level?
start
What
with
do
state,
you mean?
because we live here. Tell me one Republican thing that you don't like.
You know what? I'm not saying that.
Tell me one nationwide.
Well, first of all, you only have Republicans. You have more Republican leaders
Look, if you don't-
in the suburbs. I live in New Haven, so we've only known Democratic leadership for generations.
Try something different.
Well,
Okay.
well, Republicans only make up what? Maybe 10 or 12 or maybe
what?
15
Of
of
what?
the electorate. There's only about 10, like
The
maybe
Republican
15%.
towns are the wealthiest towns in
No,
our
I
state.
said New Haven. New Haven.
Oh,
And
New Haven. But
only has
tell me
about
one
15 to
bad
20%
thing. Tell me
Republicans.
one bad policy that Republicans are implementing in our nation.
They're not. Well, first of all, when you look at education, the Secretary of Education, I believe her name is DeVos.
Okay, that's fine, but tell me the policy that she's implementing.
Well,
that is
she
wrong.
was talking about. I read about it in the paper a couple of weeks ago. She was
New York
trying,
Times?
No, it wasn't New
Okay.
York Times.
All right.
She was trying to restructure the student financial debt
Yes.
industry and give it over to private lenders. That means taking it out of the government's hands where you have lower interest rates.
Okay, now
and give
tell
it
me
to
one
private-
thing that the
and-
Republicans
Can I
are
fin- can I
doing to
finish?
hurt
To-
us.
Can I finish, Peter? I was making a point here. So,
Can we grab this call before you make it?
Yeah, why not?
yeah, why not?
I'm
Because Peter
sorry.
did
Yeah.
it on purpose.
No. Hey, it's a friend of mine who's calling, okay? Come on.
Talk to us. Who's this?
Hey, Rob, how you doing, man? I just wanted to call down and say you got a great show going on. I love
you.
how you talking about politics.
Thank you.
I have a question for Peter.
Okay.
Hey, Peter, how you doing down there today, sir?
Very well, sir. How you doing? Thank you for joining us.
All right, no problem. I was curious. I was wondering, do you really think Donald Trump sincerely in your heart is going to make America great again?
I firmly believe that because everything that he's doing, he's putting you and I ahead of everyone else. He's putting our nation
right.
first, and I believe that. I mean, can he succeed? When I look at the Democrats, I look at the media, I look at the ones who are trying to prevent him from doing that. I don't know if he's going to be able to do that, but I'm supporting him because when we talk about taxes, regulations, national security, the border, I think these are things that will benefit your family and my family and you and I, and that's why I support him.
All right. And my next question I had to ask you, how you feel about D?
About who?
D.
B?
D's nuts.
Hey, good one. You got me, okay? You got me, okay?
That's not in New York, guys.
Good one.
And you lowered his voice, I couldn't hear that. I said, hey, oh, B's not. Hey, that's what makes the show great. Thank you.
Right.
Thank you.
So, Marcus, what was your point before we...
You know, it's kind of hard to follow up after that one.
Right.
That was classic. But my point was, Peter, was that you asked me what policy has the Republican administration implemented that is going to be detrimental to our people. And what I think is that with this educational policy of privatizing the national student loans and giving the possibility for higher interest rates to come in than lower interest rates coming from the federal government, that hurts young people. And we as a nation need to start looking at how we're going to uplift our young professionals, uplift and make college more affordable for folks so that we have a more educated workforce and we could go off and do great things. And I don't think that type of policy is something that is conducive to continuity of our workforce.
What is substantial about what you just said?
What's substantial
about it?
What's substantial? What? You know?
Yeah.
Did you go to college in the United States?
No, I did it in Albania. Of course, I did it.
Okay,
here.
well, I went to college in the United States. Let me answer your question.
So did I.
I went to college.
But you're telling me
I went to college
something
in
that
the
is
United
not
States.
making any sense.
I went to college in the United States, and I had to take out federal loans. A lot of those loans, some
You're
of them
responsible
were private.
for those
Let me
loans.
finish.
So did I.
Some of them were private, but most of them were federal. With the federal loans always have a lower interest rate.
Look,
Now,
I know the procedure because
When
I
you
went
have
through
to
the
take
same
private
steps.
loans, they're higher. Okay, so you're spending more money over a 5, 10, 15, 20, 30-year period paying off those loans. So when you're in debt, you can't go out and buy a house after you graduate.
Which
you can't get a
Republican
car.
is forcing you to do that?
No, I said Davos was promoting this.
But she's
Davos,
promoting an option.
The
Look,
education secretary under Trump. You asked me a question, I answered it.
Tell me one thing that the Republicans have done that have hurt you in the past, whether it's about the economy, security, prosperity, wealth creation. Tell me one thing that has hurt you that is Republican. You're talking about some theory that she's introduced in Washington, D.C. that is not implemented. We know what's going to happen with it. Tell me one thing that we have done or the Republicans have done that you and your family have paid a consequence because of that. And I'll give you as many examples as you want about the Democrats who are hurting you every single day.
Matt,
and you still vote for them.
Maybe you want to answer that because maybe he won't talk over you.
I just had a question for you. What do you feel about politicians like Alexandria Cortez Kennedy or Bernie Sanders, like all these Democrat politicians moving so far to the left? Does that worry you at all?
I think extremism in any light is not good. So just like you have very conservative Republicans that want to shut off all entitlement programs at once, leave babies and
tell me one who wants to do that.
Can I finish, Peter?
No, because you're making up stuff.
Poor people out in the streets.
Tell me one Republican who wants to do that.
And don't take care of our most vulnerable. I don't necessarily agree that everything.
How come no other?
We don't need to go towards a socialist way either.
The first Democrat that I've heard actually speak out against this is that Howard Schultz.
Yeah.
And now all the Democrats are attacking him.
Yeah.
You know, he's
Hold on
the
a second.
first
Tell
one
me
to
one
expose
Republican who wants to shut down.
And now they're all jumping on him because he's proud to be an American. He's proud of the wealth that he earned through hard work, and now they're all coming after him. He's the only one making sense right now.
I want to go back to this.
No one should be attacked for their views. Okay. Again.
But how come no other Democrats,
then why is Trump being attacked because of his views? He's being attacked every day.
Someone like
I support
Cortez.
modernism.
Hold on a second. You said that no one
support
should
a
be attacked
moderate
because
view.
of their views.
Right.
Yet Trump is being attacked every single day. You just attacked him. You're being
Trump
hypocritical
was
here.
elected president of the United
Yes.
States. He
Cortez
signed
too.
up to be
Cortez
attacked.
was elected to the United
assigned-
States
listen,
Congress.
So we don't live in a monarchy. Okay.
No, we know that. I know that. It's a Republican
and I
form of
forget
government.
about, I
We
don't know
know
what Albania has it, but in
What
America,
does it have to do with
in
Albania?
America,
What
if
does
you-
it
if
have
you-
to do?
No,
Trust
because
me,
what
I'll
I'm
tell
saying
you
is
one
it's
thing.
different
I'll tell you
because-
one thing. You wish you
Oh,
would
my
have
goodness.
constitutional knowledge as much as I have about the United States. But I'll
Let
tell you
me-
one
let me-
thing.
let me finish,
Albania has
Peter.
nothing to do with that.
Peter,
what
let me
we're
finish.
talking about is
in
this.
America, when
You
people run for
said-
politics, everybody has a right to run. If you're an American, you have a right to
We
run,
know
right?
that. We know you-
So when you sign up to run for the highest office in the land, you have a responsibility.
Cortez did the same thing.
You put yourself out there to be criticized. People are going to look at your policies.
Well, you
They're going to
just said
dissect
that they
them.
shouldn't be attacked because of their views.
No,
I agree they
They
should.
shouldn't be attacked personally.
But you
They
said that
shouldn't
the
be attacked
Republicans.
personally.
You said that Republicans.
They shouldn't be
want to
attacked
cut
personally.
funding for the cities. They want people to die on the streets. Tell me one Republican
I
who's
didn't
ever
say
said
Dirt in
that.
the air and poison
Yeah,
water,
yeah.
all that
Tell me
stuff.
one Republican who's ever said
I
that.
didn't say that. What I said was that extremism in any form, whether it's from the right or the left, is not good. That's what I
Look,
said.
I think that
That's what I
if-
said.
If you were to define the words that you just used, I don't see any extremists over here, whether they are Republicans or Democrats. They have leftist, centrist,
Matt brought it up. Matt brought it up.
He didn't say that she's an
Yes, he
extremist.
did. He said,
But-
Schultz. You said Schultz.
No.
was-
Ocasio-Cortez.
you said-
Yeah,
or- and somebody said Schultz
she's
was
way
out
to the
there.
left. She's
We're
way
being
to
She
the
said
left.
the world's going to end in 12 years.
12
Climate
years.
change.
Didn't we hear that from Al Gore too? And we're still alive. I mean,
Listen,
come on.
climate change is real.
Look. I think we should stick with the topic over
Climate-
here because
climate change is
obviously,
real.
yes,
Grab this caller right quick.
yes, please.
Call us, the Raw Report. Talk to us.
Help me out.
Hi, Rob. This is this is Jody. Listen, I think you have a great show going on tonight. I
Thank
really
you.
do. However, I feel like it's a Trump debate because what's the man in the blue hat, Peter?
Peter.
Yes, ma'am.
I
Make
really
America
want
great
him-
again.
I really want him, number one, to answer the question that this man keeps giving him. He keeps going around the questions like, "Would you shut the fuck up? Let this man talk." And answer the fucking question. Right now, I feel like this man is talking to fucking Donald Trump.
And what is your effing questions? I'll answer it.
But it's ridiculous. Let
Yep.
the man talk. You ask him a question and you won't even let him talk.
What is your question?
I don't have a question for your ass because I already know you're going to go. It's going to go to Trump, man, and I don't feel like
Oh,
talking.
gee. You know, I think you're going to make someone very happy one day.
Listen, Peter. Get off Donald Trump's balls. Answer Paco's question and shut the fuck up while you talk.
Okay,
That's all
what
I'm
is
gonna
his
say.
question? What is
Thank
his
you,
question?
Peter. You have a wonderful evening.
Thank you. Thank you. Listen. I
think-
think we're getting a little bit too
Pete,
heated here.
let me-
I think that's all
Thanks.
right.
I just want to.
I
I don't want
think-
nobody to think that. Some people said in the comments that Marcus is being ambushed.
No.
No.
We everybody knew everybody's political stance.
Nobody's
before they came
ambushing
here.
anybody. I mean,
but-
I wish
Well,
that
well,
he
but
would be a little more prepared when he walks in, so at least he has the
I'm-
facts together. But
no. It's like actually, I'm caught between a rock and a hard place.
oh, whoa,
There's two of you and only one of me. Now,
Hey.
I'm up for a challenge any day of the week.
Did-
I'm up for a challenge any day of the week, but you
Nah, I
have to let me
appreciate that.
finish my thought. That's all. That's all. Peter.
That would be nice if you finish a thought, though.
Thank you. If you
What's
shut
got
up,
to
I
do with
could.
that?
If you shut up, I would.
These guys ain't
You know,
working together.
I
so
can't
know, right?
We ain't up in the same
If you
team
shut up,
together.
I would.
Next
I- you
time,
know,
next time I run for novice, I'm gonna hire him. The lady who just called in, she's gonna be my advisor too. You know.
Now, can she curse like that?
Yeah, why not? You know.
Oh my God.
Look,
this is fun. This is fun, and I'm glad we're having this conversation because, quite honestly, probably a lot of our viewers may not hear this type of debate on a real level, on a substantive level.
Right.
A lot, you guys listen to CNN, you listen to MSNBC, but it's good to hear the other
Look,
side too.
I'll
so,
tell you one thing.
You know, I'm not going to say in defense of Peter, but what I want to say is that I respect where you're coming from. Like I respect where you're coming from. I respect your views. I respect your views, Matt. And I just hope that going forward we can have a dialogue, whereas we respect each other and each other's views without attacking.
we've been
each other.
we've been trying to have a dialogue with the inner cities as Republicans for
Sure.
a number of years.
Sure.
But you have to understand one thing, that the Democrat Party is taking you for granted completely for the past 50, 60 years. The Republicans have given up on you because you're not voting Republican, and therefore you are the failures. You are the ones who are failing, not us. So what we're trying to do as Republicans is that we're trying to come to the cities and tell you that the dependency that the Democrats have created in these cities are destroying you and your families, and we're trying to give you an exit, a way out to join the Republican Party where capitalism is, where people can prosper. Because the greatest fear the Democrats have is if we unite as Americans. And they fear that. Democrats are about command and control. Right now, they have command and control on your community 100%. And that is the saddest thing of these cities, man. And it really hurts me. I live in Fairfield, and you drive 3-4 miles north of where I live. We have a great school district. You go to Bridgeport. Just go to Bridgeport and compare it to Fairfield or Greenwich or Southport or Easton or Weston. It is a sad state of affairs.
Why is that?
Let me can I just address that
Okay,
for 1
yeah,
second?
yeah,
It's
yeah.
because
Because
Peter,
of the leaders in those
Peter,
towns.
I respect your view, but I would not characterize the minority communities that live in the inner cities as failures, and I'll tell you why.
No, I said they failed you.
No,
I said the
you
Democrats
said
are
that
failing
we're failures too because we're taking it.
Yeah,
and
absolutely you are.
And what I think is that we just had a black woman, Joanna Hayes, which was a National Teacher of the Year a couple of years ago, be elected the first black representative from the state of Connecticut up in the 5th District in the Waterbury area.
So big
Just north of
deal,
you.
big deal.
Let me finish.
Should have been the 15th so far. Why is she the first in
and I agree.
2019?
But look at it from an overall perspective. There's been more people of color that are going, and women that are going into the House
What
of
does it have to
Representatives
do with
than
anything?
ever before.
What does it have to do with anything?
That's the progress. We're not failures. And listen, if you listen to me, I'll tell you that I agree with some of your points. The Democratic Party has, by and large, taken the black vote, in particular.
When they nominated Hayes and Waterbury, they made sure that the black community and the Hispanic community is prevalent over there, and therefore she was the only
Peter,
one who can win.
I'm
Being black
starting to
or white.
realize while Stefanowski
Being-
maybe beat
being-
you, man.
being-
Listen,
no, he
listen, you
didn't-
gotta
no,
listen
no.
sometime. You
Being-
gotta listen sometime,
being-
Peter. You gotta give a person a chance to talk. And just
Oh,
like
you've been talking a lot, but
No,
not making
I have
any
not.
sense.
That's why
But,
people are calling up saying I talked a lot. People are calling up saying that you're talking too much.
I don't think you want to call it
Let-
like her to really be on your side, but hey,
Well,
that's the
you
case.
know what?
man.
You know if the shoe fits.
If that is the case,
say
man.
something. Matt, why don't you
That
start a conversation? Let my man Matt start a conversation right here. Let's talk about what's going on in the inner cities. Let's talk about our police force. Let's talk about our boards of education. Let's talk about our community development, where we send private and public dollars together into our communities to stimulate job growth, to stimulate safer and more beautiful communities.
And what are the results? Give me the
what's going on
results
with
that you have
those?
seen so
I
far.
haven't seen the proper results, but I'm asking
And
you.
the Democrats are
as a Republican,
running those
as
cities.
As a Republican, what would you do if you were saying, just I'll put it on a small level, Mayor of New Haven? What would you do as a Republican?
Absolutely, I'll tell you one thing. Everyone who is receiving welfare today will be in welfare for 3 years, drug testing, and make sure that within 3 years you get job training and you secure a job. And if you have 75% of the kids being born out of the wedlock, those fathers will be held responsible no matter what. Let's start with the family structure first and stabilize that. Is that harsh? Absolutely, it's harsh. That's the first thing you do. You bring the family values and hold people responsible for their actions. So I would start with that.
Okay,
The other thing is this.
What about the jobs?
I would.
You said jobs,
and
right?
yes.
What if there's no
If you-
jobs available?
the-
What if they don't have the proper training?
There is absolutely proper training exists if you want to receive it for free, and if you make it mandatory, even more. But anyone who wants to receive education in the United States can receive it today. Whether it's a community college, university, state colleges that we have, you can receive education in the United States.
And
Let's be
those-
honest about that.
and those don't cost money?
Most of these people
don't
who
cost
are in
money?
welfare, most of these people qualify for financial aid because we have a standard of living that is a requirement that if you qualify, you get financial aid. Most of them would
That pays for
qualify.
the complete college tuition. Because you're talking something I've never
Why
heard
does
of.
it have to be a college degree? Get a training on something else.
Well, training or college,
You know,
or whatever.
absolutely.
I mean,
you choose a
I
trade.
worked in-
You
I've
choose a
worked in workforce
trade.
development.
You know, you choose a
I worked
trade.
in workforce
You
development
choose-
for 5 years.
You choose a
Getting
trade.
people training jobs.
You
and
said,
everything.
how would I turn the cities
I've
around?
never seen anything
You
like
turn-
that. Any type of federal grant pay for the entire thing.
I'm not entitled to have anything being paid for me. I have to earn it. When I went to college, I paid for it. I went to law school, I paid for it. I have my son going to the Catholic University. I'm paying for it. I expect my daughters to go to college, and we pay for it. I'm tired of hearing people pay for me, pay for me, pay for me. Change that mentality. You're not entitled to anything, buddy.
Okay.
Okay?
No, and let me respond
Now-
to that, because you're talking my language, because now you've gotten to the crux of really how you feel. And what I'm saying is that there is systemic issues in minority communities that have not allowed us to get to a certain level financially and economically where we could do some of the things that you're talking
And
about.
I gave you the root of the
From-
problem.
from
You
the
just don't
masses.
want to accept it.
No. The root of the problem
It's the
is
Democrat
That's a
Party.
victim
it's not. No.
It is
it's
the
not a
Democrat
victim
Party.
mentality.
Sorry.
If you want it, you could obtain it.
No. I agree. If you have certain things in place, certain stopgaps
gotta
in
go,
place,
man.
of course you
What
can
time
obtain
is
it.
it?
What I'm saying is that from if you look at this from a slavery perspective, and no one wants to ever talk about this, but slavery only ended 160 years ago, right? Right.
And we're still
Before
talking about
that,
it.
Black people were chattel. Black people were chattel.
Okay,
We were
okay,
owned
okay,
by
okay,
people, right? And
okay.
then after that, we had 100 years of segregation where we couldn't get jobs.
The Democrats
Where we were
responsible
kept
for
out
that
of, where we
again.
were kept out of economic
And the
institutions.
Democrats did that
Where
to
if
you.
we got educated, we were killed.
The Democrats did it to
Killed.
you, and you still
Listen,
support them.
Listen. It's not about party anymore.
Of course it
It's
is.
It's about equity. It's
The
not
party-
about party. It's
the
about equity.
party
What are you
that
going to do to bring black
And I
people and other
and I
minorities
told you what I would
up to
start.
a
I
level-
would start at the cities that you said. Anyone who attends a failing school in the city, I would make sure that the Board of Education gets out of it almost completely. The unions are weakened to the point that they don't decide your child's future, but it's the parent and the school that decides that. You have become victims of this organized attempt by the Democrats and the unions to make sure that they keep you oppressed, and they are doing that every single day, and you still vote for them. That is one thing I don't get about the inner cities. Because it's the Democrat Party that is destroying you and it keeps on destroying
Well,
you.
the reason
and you
why
still
black
vote
people
for
don't
them.
support Republicans is because they say the types of things that you just said.
Which is what?
Which
Reality.
Is, you're going to kick everybody
Reality?
off. You're going to kick. No, it's
reality.
reality. But
Reality.
Listen, you're going to kick everybody off of welfare after
No,
3 years.
yes.
Okay.
Why not?
Yes.
Listen.
Yes, why not?
Because there's things that you just can't account
My
for.
grandmother was a
If you're-
slave in a Nazi
Did it-
labor camp. She came
If you're
here.
an
She was
able
never
body,
on-
if you
on-
are an
on
able
welfare.
body, I'm not
She
saying
was
that
white.
she was
So?
what? And
She was from a different country.
And-
She came from Poland.
But she wasn't discriminated against like black people.
hold on a
Other
second.
minorities.
Hold on
I
a
know
second.
that.
Because, come on, you have to let that go because that's
What about the
200 years ago, but,
Chinese? They
you know,
were one of the most
I-
discriminated
I
people
grew
in
up-
this country.
I grew up
Look at how
in
look at how
slavery.
successful they are.
You know that I was 21
What
years
about the
old
Chinese?
when I saw freedom for the first time in my life.
When Chinese people
Do
come
I-
here, when immigrants come here, they can come here with just about nothing. They could
Chinese
go
were
to,
look worse than black
let me-
people,
let me-
man.
let me finish.
Look at how successful
I-
they are.
I-
They could come here to this country. They
And-
could go to a bank, get a loan from a bank, open up a store.
And a black guy cannot
then-
do that?
No, a lot of times, no, they cannot. And that's
That-
my point.
man,
That's the equity part, Peter.
Oh man,
I got a
that's,
question for
I
you.
feel bad
I got
for
a
you.
question in
I
the
feel bad
comments.
for you.
That's the
I feel
equity
bad
part.
for you, man. I really feel bad for
I
you.
got a
man.
question for Peter. They said,
Yeah.
ask Peter what has the Republican Party done for our black community?
Good question.
Okay,
at the
absolutely.
black unemployment.
Look what the Republican
Right
Party
now.
is doing right now for the black community. The highest employment in the black community since 1920s. Since 1920s. The investment that the president just approved for revitalizing the black neighborhoods and the inner cities, it's in trillions of dollars. And is going to be led by black Americans completely. So what the president is doing for the black community right now, I think it's time for the blacks to realize that they have a great leader in the White House, and a number of them should consider and look into it and vote for him in 2020 because we need him over there for another term.
Do you think he'll win another term?
Yes, I have no doubts.
I think he'll
Absolutely.
win another term if he builds a wall.
Yep.
If he doesn't, he's not going to win.
Yes,
Listen.
but I think he's going to do that. But I don't see the president of the United States as someone who is doing things for the blacks, the Hispanics, or the whites. He's doing things for Americans, and I think that is sure.
We're going to grab a call, y'all. Go ahead, Soror Report. Talk to us.
Hey, Rob, this is Lisa.
Hi, Lisa.
I have a comment for Matthew Pettola.
Okay.
My family came here after suffering in the concentration camps as well, and I just have to express that the benefit that Jews and Italians and Greeks or whatever had was they could change their names and pass, okay? There's a difference between being black in this country and suffering racism every single day and the whole immigrant culture that we're constantly trying to embrace.
Good
Oh,
point,
I'm so
Lisa.
curious.
That's an excellent point, Lisa. And you know what? It actually really boils my blood when folks compare their immigrant status to slavery.
You were never a slave.
slave.
You were never a slave, man. You were never a slave, man.
She was a slave, a legit
Stop
slave.
living in the past and move on.
My grandmother was a slave. Was your grandmother a slave?
No.
You gotta
Great grandmother, no.
You gotta respect my time. Give me a chance to just talk about this for a second. There is a complete difference of being a slave, being brought here in chains, and being a slave for.
You were not. You were not.
Can I finish?
You were not, man.
Can I finish?
My
father
grandmother
was not. Your
was
grandmother
illiterate,
was not.
spoke 2 languages.
What'd you say, Lisa?
I said, let Marcus speak.
Come on, Marcus.
Lisa, maybe don't.
Come on, Marcus.
Lisa, you say it because I see how this goes. And Rob, you're not a good.
Whoa. Come on, man.
I'm calling you
All
out, man.
right.
This is your show.
Okay.
And he's doing a great job, man.
Shut up.
Okay,
Oh,
let's
gee.
all right, Marcus, go ahead, Marcus. It's your turn. Go ahead.
Thank you.
All right.
Marcus,
let's
I'm
give
sorry,
Marcus the
man.
floor.
Go ahead, Marcus.
Thank
Go
you,
ahead.
Peter.
We're getting
Thank you,
emotional,
Matthew.
Marcus.
I'm not getting emotional.
No,
but
we
the
are
fact-
now. We are.
Go ahead,
I'm
Marcus.
trying to
you
say
are.
something
The floor is
over here.
yours.
I'm trying to make a point.
15 generations ago,
my
Marcus. Tell us the
God.
story.
There is a complete difference between the African American experience or black experience in this country as compared to any other immigrant group coming into this country. We in this country were chattel slavery, no rights, sold, bought and sold like property.
You were.
Can I
Hold on,
finish?
Peter.
Can I finish? Can I finish? Family separated.
Please do so.
Separated from our not only our country, but our religion, our language, our culture, every single thing that made us who we were. Only thing black people have is America. You can go back to your country at any freaking time and go back to your family, go back to your town and love your family. You could go back to wherever your family came from, go back to your town, go back to your family and love your family.
But you're not a slave now,
Let
man.
me finish. Where can I go?
Who
Where can
sold-
I go?
You're an
who
American
sold-
Let
too.
me finish.
Hold on,
Let
him
me
finish.
finish. So there is a difference between what we have gone through physically, mentally, spiritually.
You're making me laugh,
spiritually.
man.
You know why? And the reason why
Because
it's
there are
funny for
two
you,
things that you're missing.
The
You're
reason
missing
why,
two
the reason
things.
why it's funny to you
Yeah.
is because you haven't been through what I've
You don't
been
know
through.
what I've been through.
haven't-
You've never been
listen,
through what
Living
I've
the
been
Iron
through.
Curtain, man.
You don't know what
Listen,
I've been through.
listen.
But
You-
I'll tell you
your
one
family-
thing. You're missing one point. All these blacks that you're referring to that they were brought here centuries ago to the United States as slaves, guess who sold them into slavery?
Other blacks.
Hallelujah.
Oh God.
You
Next.
know, oh my God.
Well,
Next.
but what's my girl's name? Lisa, I'm glad you're listening to this because this gives you a real good insight into how people really think about our experience in this country, and it shows really the utter disrespect.
I
That
look
they-
at you
that
as
they
just
have
another
towards-
guy, man.
No, we
I'm
don't.
not saying you personally. I'm not saying you personally, but through your experiences, it's like, and I'm not saying,
Buddy.
like, I'm not saying you're not legitimate or I'm
Buddy,
not,
you were
trying to-
not
I'm
born
trying
in
to-
slavery. You don't know anything
hold on,
about
Pete.
slavery. You just read about it. You're an American, a free American. You've been free since the 1800s,
And you're
and
doing well.
make
Oh my
you're doing
God.
very well, and
Matthew.
make something out of it instead
Go
of
ahead.
whining.
Lisa, go ahead, Lisa.
I mean, I respect everything that Marcus is saying about, being stripped of history and culture, but my point is simply, even if these idiots want to disregard that, and the use of America and that it was Americans and we can't blame the British, even if they want to disregard that, I'm talking about the institutional racism that blacks face every single day.
Tell me
And
one
Peter's
thing.
spouting it right
Yeah,
now.
you
He's
got-
talking about why should we give them college? Trade
educate
school
them.
should be enough for that.
Hold on
I mean,
a second. Hold on a
that's not
second.
racism?
Lisa,
Lisa, good point.
what I said, no one is in.
When you
is,
go on a job interview, Matthew, okay,
Okay.
the
and
color of your skin counts in your favor.
How do you
sorry.
know? How do
It's
you know
fact.
that?
That's America
What?
today.
How do you know?
what?
Show me where that happened.
Oh my God!
What?
I've been in sales my entire life.
Really?
I've been very successful at it, okay?
I read
Why? I don't
racism's always
have...
gonna
My mother's
exist.
maiden name was
From some
Snyderman.
sort
I
of
don't
form.
use it. My father's name is Barry.
There's people that are
People thought it was
racist.
Italian.
And what does it have to do if someone in his or her heart is it sanctioned by the state or the nation or the government to be racist in our country? Absolutely not. Tell me one thing
It's the history our
racist.
country
Tell
is
me-
built on.
tell
We
me-
stole from other countries. We stole from other cultures.
created a great
Okay?
civilization.
The only reason
lady.
capitalism
created
in
a
this
great
society was
civilization.
built was on the backs of blacks. I mean,
And
please.
Chinese.
Okay. Oh, look.
Chinese.
Look.
The railroads.
This country is defined by
The
racism.
railroads in California. They were
Marcus.
servants. They
I'm
were
done. I'm done.
Marcus. I think.
All right, you know what? The only person on this show, the only white person on this show with any knowledge is hanging up now. Goodbye.
Later.
You're hurting our feelings. Marcus, before the show started,
Do you believe there's a such thing as systematic racism?
absolutely not. Pointed out. Absolutely not.
You said absolutely. Why?
You pointed out. What is it?
I just
pointed out.
named it.
What?
I just
you
named
just told
everything.
me. You just told
When
me that
I-
you
listen, when
you're
I
Black
go in-
American, Marcus. It's about time for you guys, and what I mean for you guys is the ones who are like you that they just whine. You're living the American dream. You just told me that you graduated from college. You just told me
I went
that
to
you had a
grad
great
school,
job.
too.
Yeah, you're
Perfectly fine.
successful.
Perfectly fine. You're successful. I don't think anybody held you back or gave
You're a
you an
role
advantage
model.
because you're Black American. You worked your ass off and you got the results.
I did.
I expect everybody else to do that, whether you're Black, Hispanic, or white, or gay, or lesbian, or whatever you are.
Peter,
That's all we're
for
expecting, man.
For you to say that you do not think that there has ever been systematic racism.
No,
and
ever. I didn't say ever.
Even
When the
now,
Democrat Party,
even now,
when the
if you do
Democrat
not think that systematic racism even exists now,
point it out,
then
point it
you
out.
are really
Tell me one
missing
thing.
the point.
Tell me what is it? Point it out. What is it? Who discriminated against you? You just told me that you're a success story.
Listen,
Where is it? Just point it out.
Can we grab this call?
Yeah.
Go ahead, caller.
What's going on, Rod? This Cam.
Hey, Cam, how you doing?
All right, I have a lot to say right now, man, because, I mean, for one, when talking about slavery, how did the guy Matt, and I don't even know the other one name, sit there and laugh about it like it's a joke
I'm
and
not
matter
laughing
for
about it. I
one.
said my grandmother was a slave. What's so funny about that?
Let me finish. Then he says that who sold slaves to people. I mean, that's like saying, like, what? Who you blame, the drug dealer or the drug user? I mean, yo,
Well, I just
right
stated
is
a
right
fact.
and wrong is wrong. Wait, then let me finish the whole lot of stuff I wasn't on long, but I got lots to say real quick. He says that the Democrat Party was what kept people in slavery. I mean, let's keep it real.
Yep.
Lincoln would not be part of the Republican Party right now because the Republican Party don't believe that government should get involved in things. Lincoln, the government had to go tell the South to get rid of the slave. Like, the government had to stop slavery. So don't act like the Republican Party of today is the same Republican Party of the 1800s. It's not true. And him being a Republican and running as a Republican, he should know this.
Well, I think I pointed out facts, and if the facts are making you feel uncomfortable, pretty much so be it. But these are the facts.
They're not facts.
The
They're
facts that I
opinions.
pointed out. And let me just respond to him because he appears to have some knowledge. Actually, he should be on the show, maybe replacing you, but because he's got because the guy is making
Ding.
I mean,
But you know, it takes a lot of restraint, Peter, to even be in the same room with you.
that
A lot of restraint.
the African sold slaves
Yes.
is like saying, okay, you know what? I mean, who sold you the drugs?
Look, I agree with you. I agree with you, and if we
to bring
go,
up when you discussing slavery because Africans sold slaves.
Cam, you're talking to a guy that doesn't believe in racism. That racism exists
No,
today
no,
in
no,
America.
no, no.
So you
Marcus,
can't- you can't
Marcus,
have a
Marcus,
real
Marcus,
conversation.
you're very good at making things up. I
You
didn't
just
say I
said
don't
he
believe in
treated
racism.
worse
I
than
didn't say I
black
don't believe in
people.
Who said
racism.
racism? Systematic racism
Okay,
does not.
point it out. Point it out. You're the failure over here. I'm telling you, point it out. You failed to do
Name
it.
one
Where
Chinese
is it?
slave
Where is
in
it?
America to even make a statement that the Chinese
Look,
was
if
treated
anybody-
worse than black people.
Okay, let me just respond to that. If anyone disagrees that we have a black stain in our history as a nation with regard to racism, doesn't know the American history. However, we're talking
No,
about
but
slavery.
what?
Hold on a
We
second.
have a
Hold on a
black-
second.
we have a dark
However,
stain, but don't
if
you
anyone
racist say
denies the
that the
fact that
argument-
the
the
Democrat
minister said
Party
that
is
African
responsible for that,
was
doesn't know
sold-
history
was
either.
sold by other
And those are the two
Africans.
things that I just wanted to point out.
You're downplaying the whole.
Those they
You asked a
are.
question
I
about.
mean-
Go ahead, Cam. I'm sorry. I don't.
I'm saying when he sit there and said who sold the slaves, like come on, that's like saying who sold the drugs. Like no,
we
like,
answered
that's
that
not-
question,
That's not even nothing you should even utter when you're speaking about slavery because it's okay because Africans sold other Africans to the white man.
Man, can I interrupt you for a second? Let me interrupt him for a second.
Let me make a point.
No, let me respond to him because he was asking me. Let me respond to him. No, let me respond to him. I don't believe that you and your father, your grandfather, ever lived in slavery. I was 21 years old when I escaped slavery myself. Okay? Hold on a second. No, but at least I'm trying to respond to him if you allow me, and I'll do that. But you're not the only one who knows about slavery. I just told you that I was born and raised in slavery, and I happen to be white. White people enslaved other people too. Blacks were enslaved. We don't deny that. What I deny is that the Republican Party has nothing to do with slavery. The Democrat Party is trying to perpetuate that, and you guys should shake it off and leave the Democrat Party and join the Republican Party. It's time you do it.
Why? I mean, I have never. Republican Party won't even accept Black Lives Matter slogan as
oh boy, slogan. Black Lives Matter. Every life matters, man. What is that?
That you have a problem with the slogan yourself. I ain't gonna ask the person.
Of course I do. Every life matters, man.
We have something.
You won't even admit that Black Lives Matter is an appropriate slogan.
Kim, to your point, on a national perspective, we have something, a federal organization called the Commission on Equal Rights. Okay, if there was not an equity problem in the United States, if there was not a race problem in the United States, why does the federal government have specific laws that are geared directly towards equal rights?
Well, yeah, I'll tell you why. Who created that commission?
All right, Cam. Thanks, man.
Who created the commission?
All right.
I don't know who created it. It's here.
It's free education.
So why
you should
is it
benefit
here?
from this. Let me educate you for free.
If there's no racism, why do you have the Commission on Equal Rights?
It was a Republican
if
president.
There's no racism.
Can I finish now? Because you asked me a question. Who created that commission?
It doesn't matter.
Oh, it matters to me because I'm a Republican. It was a Republican who created
that. Why is it here?
Because of the 1960s.
If everything's so equitable, if there's not racism in America right now, why did the federal government create?
I think you should take notes because if you're teaching at the Community Act, it's a good thing. I'm just telling you, that was created by a Republican president. And we created that in 1960s when you had the Jim Crow laws who were Democrat laws. We saved you again.
So why
we're going to do it again.
Why is it still here then? If everything is solved.
If we don't prevent the Democrats from doing it again, they will do it again. And you guys, they will do it again.
I love it, man.
Of course they will do it again. The Republicans, the Republicans on your side.
Listen, a nation of laws do not create laws that have no meaning. That's counterproductive. It's a waste of time.
That's very deep.
These laws have been put into place because there are systemic issues with race, with equality, whether it be gender, whether it be whether it be
let's start with that,
transgenders, whether it be anything.
There's
a lot of equality in this.
That's a lot of discrimination in this country, isn't it?
And because of that, the federal government and state governments have created these commissions and organizations to combat that, to keep people honest.
I want to tell you something about discrimination. You don't know a damn thing about it. You've never been discriminated in your entire life.
Oh my God!
I can tell
Here's
you
a white guy telling me, as a black guy, I've never been discriminated.
Absolutely never. You just whine and you're a whiner. You just told us. You just told us.
Because you have
because you don't know what I went through. Do you know? Did you know that I was? You know. Hold on a second, because
you're not
to a Democrat. To a Democrat,
you cannot. How long have you been in the United States?
To a Democrat, you cannot make
sense.
How long
have you been in the United States?
You're telling me. Let me finish and I'll explain to you. What do you think?
I'm asking. I don't know. That's what I'm asking you. How long have you been in the United States?
This is not about my being in the United States.
No, I'm asking you as a question. How long have you been in the United States?
If you want to have a conversation, I'll finish it. Obviously,
answer the question.
And I will. But let me just tell you something because I'll get to that.
I've been in the United States all of my life. My mother and my father have been in the United States all their lives.
And you're still whining. You're still whining. Stop whining.
Answer the question.
Go ahead,
30 years.
Answer the question.
30 years.
30 years.
Hey, what's going on? First, I wanted to talk about how the misconception of the Democratic Party still being the same Democratic Party from before 1964. Because in 1964, the party switched because on the ticket there was Goldwater versus a Democrat, and that Democrat voted for the bill to pass so we could have equal rights.
Lyndon Johnson.
And then you had another.
Lyndon Johnson.
Yep, it was Lyndon Johnson. Yep. And Lyndon Johnson, Bill Goldwater had the support of the KKK. He was the first Republican that had the support of the KKK, much like what you see today.
You know, Lyndon Johnson said that I'm going to get
the Dixiecrats came from the Dixiecrats went from being Democrats to Republicans, and that's how the switch happened. Hillary Clinton used to be a Republican. A bunch of people used to be Republicans, and they switched in 1964. That was. Oh, as a matter of fact, Ronald Reagan said that he patterned his whole career after Bill Goldwater. And before Bill Goldwater, he himself was a Democrat, and he said, "quote I didn't leave the Democratic Party. The Democratic Party left me." And you had a lot of that going on in 1964, where Jackie Robinson went to the National Convention out in to the Republican National Convention out in 1964. He said he got spat on. They set his boy's clothes on fire while he was still walking around. Obviously, they stepped on him. They pushed him. They called him nigger. They called him all kinds of names. So there was a switch in 1964. That's not the same Democratic Party. And as a matter of fact, if you go back and you look at who voted to pass the Civil Rights Bill, the entire South, whether they're Democrat or Republicans, voted no. And everybody in the North, whether they were Democrat or Republican, voted yes. So it was more of a North versus South, and it wasn't a Democrat versus Republican thing. And we have a lot of misinformation going on right now. Yes, it's true that the Democrats did start the KKK. That is 100% truth. But what a lot of people are confusing is the fact that 1964 changed the whole game, and that's when everybody switched. And so you're giving misinformation when you're just saying, "Oh, the Democratic Party are the ones who started." No, you got to tell the entire story throughout history. My mom was a Republican. My dad was a Republican. They all switched. If Martin Luther King was alive today, he would not be a Republican. There's no way in the world that you can sit there as a black person who knows and understands history that you would join the same party as the Ku Klux Klan.
KKK were Democrats, but I'm going to have to interrupt you. Absolutely, these are not factually right what you're saying. KKK was established by the Democrats, man. Don't blame it on the Republicans.
Yes,
please.
you're right. You're right.
Please.
They did establish, but it wasn't the same.
Then
it wasn't
what do you mean?
It wasn't the same. It wasn't the same Democratic Party.
KKK was never.
If that's the same, if that's the same Republican Party as today, then there wouldn't be a KKK up there. That KKK is what kills it. Wherever the KK goes is where racism go. Now you can't say that there's no racism with racist groups in America.
Yeah,
known racist groups in America. We don't know who all these people are. And as far as I'm concerned, I kind of feel like
who do they identify with? Who do they identify with?
Blame it on the Republicans. Make him happy.
The Ku Klux Klan identify with anybody who serves their agenda.
No, who do they identify with?
Like
now? Who do they identify with right now?
They identify with the Republican Party.
Thank you.
And that's the Republic. That's who they identify. Like if
no.
You got people who.
Hold on a second. Just because you're trying to say that, it doesn't mean it's factually right. Hold on a second. I just gave you.
The misinformation that's.
Look, hold on a second, because I think we're getting a little carried away with this topic, and we're not going to get to the bottom of this no matter what. What I just told you, and I firmly believe this, is that America is not a racist nation. And I'll tell you why. You look at hold on a second. You just said racism is all over the place and it's holding you back.
No one said that. You said that.
No one said no. Hold on. Racism doesn't hold us back. What black see? This is the myth.
Let me give you an example. Let me give you an example, sir.
Yeah, go ahead. I want to hear this.
Think about this. You look at the basketball teams that we have in the United States. They are predominantly black. Most of the viewers and the sponsors are white. If we were racist, all we have to do is just turn off the TV, not watch those games, including American football, which is predominated by black Americans. All we have to do just turn. Absolutely, it is predominated. The players are
80%. Absolutely. No. He's talking about in terms of.
If we were racist,
hold on. We can leave. Hold on. I want to leave. Honestly, you should leave professional sports out of that. You should leave professional sports out of it, because the people who are paying for these athletes. People who are paying for these athletes are billionaires, and they make their money off of the backs of us. So whatever they give us is pennies compared to what they make for just us having us there. Like LeBron James getting $35 million a year isn't even close to what these guys make.
It is the viewers.
But he makes $35 million a year.
Yes,
and so we should be happy with that, right?
I'd be happy with that.
I would be happy with that.
But here's what I'm saying. Here's my point. The reason why y'all bring up hold on.
I'd be happy.
Hold on. The reason they bring that up is so they mic and say, hey, look, there are successful black people out there. But what we're talking about is the sabotage of black business. And if you don't know that there's sabotage of black business, for example, I'll give you an example. He said something about trades. I got 5 trades. Each and every time black people huddle to one trade, you know what they do? They up what you have to do to get the job. So instead of just having the trade, now once black people get the trade, now it's, you need 2 years of college. So you go and get your 2 years of college, and then, you don't need 2 years of college, you need 4 years of college. Niggas is gonna have to be, excuse my language, you're gonna have to be a doggone doctor just to be a janitor nowadays. You might have to get a doctorate to get it, because every time black people attack one thing, there's some CNAs, I know people who went to Job Corp, I know people who got all kinds of trades, and when they get out, you know what happens? They need more education. Okay, you need 4 years of experience to do something you just did for 2 years, hands on. So now you need not only 3 years experience, you need 2 years of college in addition to that. It seems to me that every time black people start picking up on trades, that particular trade, all of a sudden the qualifications go up. Like now, why do you need an associate's degree to be a janitor? It's just mopping the floor, buffing the floor, picking up trash. Why do you need an associate's degree? Why? Why? And when we ask these questions and there is no logical answer for it, then we have no other choice to go, okay, you're just doing this because my skin complexion is different from yours. You're doing this because of where I am. I know people who've worked where they're hiring managers and their boss is coming down and say, hey, put a red paperclip on anybody who lives on streets like Newhall Street in Bassett. They put red clips. And I know people because my dad is somebody. I've talked to people, and they said that they had to put red paper clips on certain areas. They don't want to hire from certain areas because they're seen as trouble zones. And when these people who are from these areas have earned their trades, or if they got out of jail and they've paid their debt, there should be no more debt to pay. But you want them to pay even more. You want them to register and do all this crazy wild stuff, and all they want to do is just grow. Now, another thing, and this is my very last thing. This is the very last thing. I'm done. Please. There are more people than jobs. I go to the Hampton Plaza, I see nothing but black people working. I go up and down the Post Road, I see nothing but black people working. I go everywhere and I see nothing but black people working. The fact that you guys are going to sit there while you walk in stores and see all these black people working and say that black people don't work is astonishing to me. It means you got your eyes closed, bro.
Man,
it means you're closed and you're not aware.
Who said that, man? Who said black people don't
bro,
work?
Thanks for your call, man.
Thank you for your comments. Listen, let's regroup. What I think we should start talking about now as we wrap it up.
Yes, it's fine with you.
We all agree we wrap it up?
Yeah, I have to go to work.
So,
tomorrow.
So why don't we
Thanks,
talk about...
man, for your call, bro.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Rob, why don't you let each one of us just take a minute or two just to talk about where we see things going from here, like how we can all work together,
uninterrupted,
how we can work together, how we're gonna move.
Can I put up with that for a minute and a half? Come on.
Listen,
Rob, you don't do that to me. I thought we're friends. That's torture, man.
Yeah,
go ahead, man. Go ahead, man. Rob, should they hold hands too? Should they hold hands? Kumbaya.
These guys, you're going to see these guys on TV together, too.
I bring people together,
you're going to see these guys on TV together, I promise you.
We're going to do this on TV one day. I would love to educate this guy for free.
Oh, God. Matt, I'd love to give you some truth for free. Because truth doesn't cost a damn thing.
Good.
I don't know. I'm just here to take care of my wife, my son, mind my own business, keep my side of the street clean. You know, that's pretty much it.
Where do you see the country going forward?
Right now, I see it going forward pretty well. I like that the unemployment's low. Taxes got a little bit lower. But living in the state still concerns me right now. I mean, hearing about tolls, proposals on with Martin Looney and then Lamont with the grocery tax. Yep. I mean, they got to make it easier for especially the working man to live in this state, the middle class.
Okay.
Fair enough. Okay. Peter?
Nah, you next.
No, Peter, you're next.
Oh, don't do that to me, man.
Age before beauty.
These two, boy.
Oh, gee, man. But then if that's the case, you should go first. Look, I think we are fortunate to live in this country. It's the greatest country in the world.
Absolutely.
And I appreciate every single day that the American people embraced my family and I 30 years ago. When we escaped and came to the United States, we did escape from slavery. It was a communist country where the government dictated our lives. The greatest fear that I have right now in the United States is that every single failed liberal policy and command and control that are left in Eastern Europe is coming to the United States. And thank God for Donald Trump, who had the guts, the audacity, the character, and the fortitude to run for that position, go to Washington, and try to dismantle the establishment over there that is it's keeping you and I, trying to keep us oppressed. He's trying to keep us divided, because if we unite, that is the greatest threat to the establishment right now, people being united and seeing the truth for what it is. And Donald Trump is preaching the truth, and that's why I continue to support him.
I just wanted to say thank you to Rob and the Raw Report for having us. I wanted to say thank you to my co-conspirators here, Peter Lumaj and my man Matthew. Had a really, really good time. And I want to thank, most importantly, the viewers for all of your comments, all of your concerns, all of your thoughts on what we discussed here tonight. I know we don't always get a chance to talk on a national level about politics, in particular race politics and what things are working and what things aren't. But what I do know is that from a local level, we really need to start having these conversations. We need to start speaking very, very clearly and effectively about what is going to better our communities. I mean, we need to do it in a respectful way. And even though it got heated a little bit here tonight, I respect the views of Matthew and Peter. I heard them loud and clear.
Passion, man.
And it's passion. It's passion, and I'm also passionate, but I'm more passionate about seeing things become a lot better here in New Haven. So as we look at the local elections, as we look at the state of the Board of Education, as we look at our city finances, as we look at the public safety that's going on right now in our communities, we need to start asking ourselves, are we doing the best job that we can? Has the policies that have been going on right now in this city and in surrounding communities been working? And if you feel like they haven't, I encourage you to get involved. Contact, communicate, and come together so that we can be better people, better families, better communities, and ultimately a better city. So to all of my friends, family, and supporters, thank you very much for listening in tonight. I hope to see you again. Thank you, Rob, for having us, and thank you again to Peter and Matthew.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Rob.
For doing
Absolutely.
it. Paca out.
Hey,
Pleasure.
thank you
That
everybody
was
for
great,
tuning
man.
in.
Loved it. Thank you.
We want to thank you everybody for tuning in.
Thank you.
We got to do this again.
Oh, yeah.
With the fellas. Please check us out, the Raw Report, every Thursday. We got great shows. Check us out. Thank you everybody for watching. Peace. Good night.
All opinions expressed by the Raw Report guests are solely their current opinions and do not reflect the opinions of the Raw Report. The Raw Report guests' opinions are based upon information they consider reliable, but neither the Raw Report or its affiliates warrant its completeness or accuracy, and it should not be relied upon as such.